The Kite Runner Slang Notes by Norzaruk. Major characters. Amr is the main character of the book and is the narrator of the story. He talks about his life in Afghanistan and America. He includes his thoughts and opinions throughout the books. He aspires to be a writer and becomes a published novelist later in his life. He is best friends with Hassan, who he is sometimes jealous of because he thinks his father favors Hassan more than him. He has a great desire to please his father, and due to this and the jealousy, he allows Hassan to get raped, and has a great feeling of guilt, which he tells his story. Hassan. He is the son of the house servant who is uneducated but smart, and is Amr's best friend and half-brother, who he is very loyal to and defends Amr when attacked. Amr and Hassan were both breastfed by the same woman. He is looked down upon because he is Hazra, unlike Amr, who is Pashtun and superior. He is loved by Baba even though he has his own father, but turns out that Baba is his illegitimate son. He gets raped by Asaf, who he has threatened before, and later dies at the hands of the Taliban defending Baba's house. Baba. He is Amar's father, who is a rich businessman and is well respected in Kabul. He had an affair with Hassan's mom and is the father of Hassan. He favors Hassan more than Amr and wishes Amr to be more like him and Hassan. He later dies in San Francisco of terminal cancer. Ali. He is a servant of Baba's and is the acting father of Hassan. He is very modest and religious. He suffers from a partial paralysis of his lower face muscles and walks with a limp due to polio. He is one of Baba's good friends who was taken in as a baby by Baba's father and was raised with Baba like Hassan and Amr. He is later killed by a landmine. Characters continued. Asaf. He is an antagonist of the story who Amr considers a psychopath. He praises Hitler and his ways and is a racist and always messing with people, especially Hazras like Hassan, whom he raped. He also raped Sohrab, Hassan's son, later in the story, who is also his sex slave until Amr saves him. He is a Taliban official who loves killing people. Asaf loses an eye to Sohrab's slingshot. Sohrab. He is Hassan's son. After his parents die, he was put into an orphanage. He was sexually and physically abused, especially by Asaf, who he was a sex slave to, which Amr later rescues him from. He tries to commit suicide after Amr tells him he may have to stay in an orphanage again, and stops talking later, a year later. For a year. Later, Amr adopts him. Soraya. She is Amr's wife who cannot have kids. She is shamed by her family who ran off with a man. She took care of Baba when he was sick and agrees to the adoption of Sohrab. Rahim Khan. He is a friend of Baba and Amir. He is very close with Baba and knows all of Baba's secrets. He gives Amr a father figure and gives him the attention he craves with his father. He's one of the few people that know about Hassan's rape and summons Amr back to Afghanistan. Symbols. One of the symbols is Hassan's cleft lip. Hassan's cleft lip represents the difference between Hassan and Amr economically and socially. The cleft lip on Hassan show a mark of social status in society. It shows that he is too poor to fix it and that he is one of the major differences between Amr and Hassan, status in society. Later, when Baba pays for the surgery to fix his lip, it shows that the secret love he has for his biological son. Later in the book, Amr and Asaf get into a fight, and Asaf slips Amr's lip, leaving Amr with a scar like Hassan, butting them as Amr finally stands up for himself, and is one who he takes care about as Hassan once did, signifying the brotherhood between Hassan and Amr. Kites. Kites were a symbol of happiness in Amr's childhood life. Kite flying brought him joy and brought him closer to his father. However, after Hassan got raped, kites became a symbol of Amr's guilt and betrayal to Hassan. The kites and kite flying are also a reminder of Afghanistan's glory days and how there was no war and how happy they were. But that soon changed when the Taliban gained control and banned kite flying. As the beginning and end of the book, it shows kite flying and him flying a kite with Sohrab, which shows a new beginning and redemption for Amr's sins. A lamb. In the lamb in Islam and Christianity, as well in the book, symbolizes a sacrifice of an innocent. Amr says that both Hassan and Sohrab looked like a lamb as they were being slaughtered when Hassan was raped and when Amr saw Sohrab with Asaf. Pomegranate tree. The pomegranate tree is a symbol for Amr and Hassan's relationship. After Hassan dies later, the tree and the carving they made is still there along with Amr's memories. However, it no longer bears fruit and ceased to blossom, which represents the ruins of the friendship. Slingshot. The slingshot represents the loyalty and justice to stand up for what is right. Both Hassan and Sohrab use a slingshot to get away from and stop Asaf. The slingshot throughout the story is used as a weapon and not as a toy to enforce good. Themes. One of the themes are discrimination. In Afghanistan, there is a lot of discrimination of race, ethnicity, and religion. There are two major ethnicities, the Hazaras and the Pashtuns. Hazaras come from Asia and are usually lower on the social status and poorer. They are also Shia Muslim. The Pashtuns are the original Afghanis, whom are Sunni Muslim. The Pashtuns look down at Hazaras and discriminate against them. This is the major difference between Hassan and Amr, and why Amr has never actually says Hassan is his friend. He also doesn't play with him when people are over. Asaf has also discriminated against Hazaras like Hassan and wish Afghanistan from them. An example of discrimination is that even though Baba and Ali grew up together, they are almost like brothers. Ali is a servant to Baba and lives in a hut and sleeps on the floor, while Baba lives in a brick grand house. Loyalty and betrayal. Hassan is very loyal to Amr and sticks up for him, and always stays by his side. However, Amr is not loyal to Hassan. He witnessed Hassan's rape and didn't stop it, even though Hassan has always stood up for Amr. Amr then worsens the betrayal by driving Ali and Hassan from the household. Later in the book, Amr learns that Baba fathered a child with Ali's wife, Sanubar, and that Baba too has betrayed his friend. Themes continued. Redemption. Throughout the book, Amr has wanted to redeem himself for killing his mother during childbirth, which his father blames him for. He tries to please his father and make his father proud throughout his childhood. He tries to be like his father, which when he was a child but fails. After witnessing Hassan's rape, Amr tries to redeem himself for betrayal of his best friend who stayed loyal to him, so later in the book, Amr rescues and adopts his son, Sohrab. Baba also searches for redemption of fathering a child with Ali's wife. Baba takes care of Hassan and always includes him in things he does with Amr and always gives grand gifts to Hassan on his birthday, always being a fatherly figure to him. Baba also leads a charitable life and has a strong principles to redeem himself. Father and son. Amr has always wanted to get his father's attention and wanted his father to show affection for him. After the kite tournament, he finally got what he wanted. He later ruined it when he asked if he ever thought about getting a new servant with his Baba, and his Baba said not to ever say that again, or ask him that question. Amr has always been jealous of Hassan, thinking Baba liked Hassan more than Amr, which he later learns that Baba is Hassan's father as well. Baba has tried to hide his natural feelings for Hassan, who was more of a father to Hassan than Amr. Later in the book, Sohrab becomes Amr's adopted son and is explained that Hassan was a good father to Sohrab, and Sohrab later begins to open up to Amr, and that Amr will continue to find redemption in being a good father to